This is the install video for the M&P compact metal frame magwells. There are two variations of the compact metal frame. The early models have the nice flat right there. This one does have a little bit of the Cerakote worn off because we have installed magwells before on it. But if you look at the front strap here, it is flat and it makes pretty much contact all the way forward. The newer generation, if you look at the front strap there, you can see there's a chamfer around the edge of the frame there that mates up with it. And so you can actually kind of stick a fingernail in there, where the first ones, it's pretty tight. You can't get your fingernail in there at all. So we do have pictures on our website as well to figure out which option you need. I'll start with the earlier model because it does take a little bit more work. So first, take out the locking pin there. These scuffs and stuff that you see on here, that is just from taking the magwell on and off. This is just the tungsten Cerakote, so don't be alarmed by any of that. It's not wear on the actual frame, it is just the Cerakote finish. The early model magwells, you'll want the ones that are the 137 part number. On the website it says 137 for both. The other one will be on the drop down, it'll be option 2. It does have a different part number, but is in the same product part as the 137. So for the early model, you will need to modify this front strap a little bit. What you do is you first take and push the magwell on so it's nice and tight in the front there, and then you will put your thumb on the back strap here and then pull with your 2 fingers in the corners back till it pops on. Now what you'll find is this front strap here is a little bit bulged. You can see it bulging out right there, so it's not nice and tight like it was before trying to put the magwell on. Running it that way isn't the best idea because eventually this could, cause you some issues, try to pop off on you. The magwell, when it is all the way flush, should be pretty much straight with the bottom of the M&P engraving there. And you should see, you can see in the back there, it is up just a bit. So you want to make sure it's all the way down before you put in the pin. But before you put in the pin, what you want to do is now gently push up and forward at the same time to where it pops off. Now look at the front strap. So you'll get those marks on your frame a little bit, but you'll also see there's a little bit of an indent on the strap there. And so what you'll do is stick your finger inside to where you're right about in this area here and push out so that it pushes that out a little bit, and then grab it with your other thumb and pop it forward. Now if you can use like a small file or something and take those 2 little spots and just put a little bit of a file there. Or what you can do is, if you have a sharp knife, you can take right there where that starts and just take a little bit off. You don't want to do a ton, you just want a little bit. That's more than I need. That's a lot more than I need. You want find the spot. Just take a little bit. You'll see that the magwell will cover quite a bit of that. So if you do cut a little bit more than you need to cut off, it's not a big deal. Put it back on. You want the small end towards the top of the gun, the larger end towards the bottom. Pop it back into place so it's nice. You'll see that it's not bulged at all there. Now you take your magwell, hook it back on there, make sure that it is nice and flat all the way across there. Stick your thumb on the back again, pull it to the back. See, it went on easier that time because it's not having the resistance there. Being put on once already wears in the frame a little bit and everything. Look at the sides there. Doesn't look like it's bulged. Doesn't look like it's bulged. And you can see where those teeth are up around in there. You can't even see those areas that I trimmed that. So it's nice and flush looking. And this is our locking pin. Stick it in there, push it all the way in, and tap it. And then with a very wide flathead screwdriver, thick as a screwdriver as you can, stick it in the slot and turn it to where it is nice and lined up, so that it feels nice and even all the way across. If the plastic insert here bulges out because of the pin a little bit, it's like 1 in 100 that sometimes can do that just because a little bit of difference in the plastic. You can take a file or something and then file that smooth again. Usually it doesn't cause any issues, but we have had 1 or 2 customers where that actually pushed in enough to where it was grabbing the mag and not letting it drop freely. So that is the first model of the metal frame. The second one, because of that chamfer there, when you try to put this magwell, I have another one here I can show you. Try to put this magwell on there. The teeth location, see, these are all the way up against the top, where the newer magwell for those, the tooth is actually dropped a little bit in order to compensate for that chamfer. So good news is that means because of that you don't actually have to modify this front strap at all. It will fit on there fine. But if you do try to put on the 137 magwell, it will look like it goes on great. Clicks on nice, everything looks good. But if you notice, can't really see with the angle of that engraving there, but if you look in the front there, you'll see that there's a big gap. And so what happens when you try to put in the base plates, they're a lot tighter with our extensions, and with our +6, because it is a little bit thicker, it is much tighter going in. So it does actually work, but it is not working properly. Now you can kind of see it in this angle, see how it's tight in the back there, but a little bit gapped in front there, because the whole magwell is actually angled down a little bit in front. So let's pop that off of there, and we'll do the 139 engraved magwell, as you can see there. We'll hook it on front just like the other one. Make sure that it's nice and flat. See how it's angled? You want to straighten that out so it's nice and flat all the way across. And then the same thing. Stick your thumb on the back strap there, put your fingers in there, pull it over the back. Sometimes, like the frames with the multicam Cerakote, they have a lot of buildup of Cerakote, and so it will be a lot tighter in order to get it all the way flat. You can, tap it with a screwdriver to get it all the way down, or a rubber mallet or something in order to just get that down all the way. So that looks nice and tight on there. Looks good and snug all the way around. Now our newer locking pins will have this hex head versus the slotted one, depending on where we are in rotation. We will be selling out all of these before we actually switch over to these. Some people have, slipped with a screwdriver and scuffed up these slotted ones. That's why we are making a change to this, because it's a lot harder to slip and scuff up. If you do scratch yours up and you want a replacement pin, we will sell these as replacement pins up until the point where we actually switch everything over, because we've ran through our old stock. So push that all the way down. On this, you will use a 1/8 Allen wrench. Stick it in the hole, make sure it is good, and push down all the way, and then turn it until you are nice and flush all the way across. And then with the Magwell, the proper Magwell on here, putting the +6 in there has much better room. It's got a little bit of play. The +2, same thing. So due to the Magwell funneling the mags into the frame, the stock plates are designed to the size and shape of the frame, so they don't work inside the Magwell. You need to make sure you also get our plates or extension, not because we just want to sell you extra parts, but because there's a necessity that if you make a Magwell that works with the stock plates, there is a large flat all the way around that actually catches the mag and prevents proper mag changes. So with the proper parts, it works really nice, gives you better control over the gun because you got nice leverage down there. Also gets faster mag changes when you push it all the way in. This is actually a 4 1/4 inch slide on this frame. That's the metal frame compact, but I just have a different slide on there that we've done our commander porting as well as our Poseidon design. The commander porting is top and sides. Top porting reduces muzzle rise, while side porting reduces the recoil impulse. Our enforcer porting is sides only, but they're angled up to function as both. And it actually works better than the commander because the taming down the recoil impulse leads to most of the muzzle rise. So when you tame that down, it's actually more effective at reducing the muzzle rise and the recoil. So this is the enforcer porting with the Defiance design on the compact metal frame pistol.